It's quite common to see, particularly power boats, with 230 amp and maybe 250 amp Shorepower connections.
Hello and welcome to another one of our Boat How To Ask the Expert videos with Nigel and Jan. Today's question is the following. If a boat has two Shorepower inputs, one port, one starboard, can we assume that it would require two galvanic isolators, one for each input? Or would a properly placed single unit handle the job?
Yeah, that's an easy one to answer. A properly placed single unit will handle the job. However, you've got to remember the function of those grounding wires that we're installing the galvanic isolator into that circuit is to handle fault current. So let's say we have two 30 amp circuits that we're going to parallel the grounding wires through the isolator. In theory, we could have a 30 amp fault on each of them. The grounding wire on the boat side of that galvanic isolator has got to be adequate to handle the maximum possible fault current on the two circuits. So it's got to be significantly upsized over the individual grounding wires that you're bringing into it.
So you would need a 60 amp
fundamentally,
at least,
yes. Yeah. And same with the galvanic isolator itself. It has to be upsized to handle the maximum theoretical fault current. So we're dealing with both the grounding conductor on the boat side and with the isolator itself. And it's commonly done.
Yeah, you don't see that often in Europe to have more than one fault.
Well,
but it's
but these American boats with all their air conditioning, it's quite common to see, particularly power boats, with 230 amp and maybe 250 amp Shorepower connections. And then on board the boat, although you're paralleling the grounding circuits, because they get grounded anyway at some point on the boat, the rest of it, the hots and the neutrals, have to be kept separate. So you've basically got two independent AC circuits on the boat. And you can, in certain circumstances, parallel those into a single circuit, but it has to be, the switching has to be arranged such that you cannot parallel them with them both plugged in.
That's some complicated stuff.
Well, it's a matter of just having, when you flick a breaker one way, you can't turn another breaker on. There's mechanical ways of doing this. There's various ways of doing it. It's so that if you get to a dock where there's a limited amount of power available and you can only plug in one of your outlets, you can still put all the AC circuits on the boat, but then you have to apply load management because otherwise you're going to overload that single circuit and trip the breakers.
All right, well, actually, if you want to learn more about AC installations, actually both according to European and American standards, check out our advanced marine electrics courses at BoatHowTo.com, where we talk a lot about this and also about these multiple Shorepower inlets, actually. So check that out and see you soon for another video. Stay tuned.